Jess. Hi guys, I'm Emma. I'm a digital PR strategist at Impression. And my talk is all about keeping your brand front of mind with digital PR. So the key takeaways from my talk, so to understand what digital PR is, why it's important, and the positive impacts it can have on your business when it comes to building trust. How to ensure your brand speaks on relevant and authoritative topics using our internal framework that we've created called the BIC framework. No spoilers, I'll talk about that in a few slides, to basically help you find those topics that you have the authority to talk on. And finally, how to utilise the expertise of internal spokespeople within your business. So firstly, a little bit about digital PR. So if you haven't heard of it already, it essentially just takes the foundations of traditional PR, utilising the same brand-led tactics to build trust, authority through links, brand mentions and coverage in reputable and relevant sites. Where it differs slightly is digital PR seeks to earn links from high authority domains. So when we talk about high authority domains, we genuinely talk about like news sites, so publications, those that you kind of think of when you think of the news, like The Guardian, The Telegraph, could be Cosmopolitan, Women's Health, all of those kind of really good news sites. You essentially want the link back to your target site, so your brand site, to help influence the website's rankings within the search engine. And there's multiple different digital PR tactics that are available to us to help drive those links and that coverage. So in the green, we've kind of got the more kind of SEO focused tactics, so around broken links, expired content links, indirect rankings. And then as you move towards the more blue side, it's more of the, what I say, the fun stuff. So you've got things like newsjacking, which is kind of responding to things that are kind of breaking in the news, breaking news stories, journalist requests. This is where you'll be utilising your expertise to help journalists kind of write their articles. And then we've got surveys, product stunts, offline stunts, the more kind of traditional PR tactics that you might have heard of. And through these tactics, you'll drive relevant coverage from target publications with really engaged readers. And this is where you'll help build that trust within those readers. So there's some snippets here of some examples that we've done for our clients. And there's a theme kind of throughout these that you'll notice that a lot of them are kind of sharing tips and advice and really utilising their expertise within the industry. So just to kind of point out a few, we've got some from Marie Claire, and that's responding to celebrity engagement rings, giving valuations, and that's for an engagement and wedding ring client. We've got things like from Ideal Home, how to keep bath towels dry, and that's from one of our cleaning brands. We've got like lawn tips from a gardening client. So as you can see, a whole host of different coverage and tactics utilising their expertise. And once you start to gain these backlinks from high authoritative sites, you'll then start to rank higher for your target money keywords. So this is a snapshot from our engagement and wedding ring brand. They were really focused on lab-grown diamonds. And as you can see, after gaining lots of backlinks from high authoritative sites, they've started ranking really well for some of their target money keywords. And after all of that, you'll then see your domain visibility increase, and sometimes that can be to record heights with a collaborative kind of SEO and digital PR strategy. Digital PR also really aligns perfectly with Google's search generative experience development, a bit of a mouthful, but essentially Google is really starting to kind of utilise trust and really build on trust to basically take content from across the web to generate snapshots. And you might have started seeing this pop up in your kind of search results. This is really putting weight on content created by real people. This has been kind of done through the rise of AI and things like that. They really want content by real people that they can trust from trusted sources. So I guess what does that mean for your PR strategies? You really need to consider the strength of your on-site content and aim to be that trusted source. You want Google to view your site as a trusted source. You want it to be seen in publications and referenced in publications, and they'll see that as then a trusted source. You want to consider the end user at all points in your strategies to drive awareness and provide that desired information through the search journey. So you need to ensure that your strategy is set to benefit the public's perceptions of your expertise. So what do they look at when they see your website and when they see that you're being quoted in news articles? The tone associated with your brand by third parties. So what type of coverage are the news kind of referencing you as? Is it negative? Is it positive? And also important trust signals across the internet. News sites are naturally authoritative, and we know this. Being associated and covered with one is a valuable trust signal. It really proves to prospective customers that your business is reliable and credible. And we've got a brief example of how this kind of works in real life. So we've got a customer here, we'll call him John. So John's in the market for a new bed, and he's been doing some research and he's come across And So To Bed, and he absolutely loves their beds, but he's not really heard of them. He doesn't really know anyone, friends and family that have bought from them. He's been looking around at some other competitors. So as part of his research, along with sort of checking their social media, their Trustpilot reviews, John might also check the news and see what kind of publications are saying about them, seeing if they're referenced there. No coverage, or even worse, negative press that isn't counteracted by any sort of positive digital PR activity could really cast doubt over John's trust. He might see that they've been referenced as bad customer service or bad kind of, the brand might have said something really bad in the press. And then John might then go to a competitor who has really positive press. But luckily, when Googling And So To Bed, John's seen that they have a really proactive digital PR activity, and all the press is kind of positive. It's really showcasing their expertise within the industry. They're being referenced by people like The Telegraph, The Guardian, Home and Gardens, The Sun, all of those kind of news articles that he reads, that he trusts. So he therefore makes a connection that And So To Bed must be a really trustworthy brand, a really real brand that, he should purchase from. So positive news coverage that's really centered around their expertise validates customer decision making and really adds that trust signal to the conversion process. But how do we build strategies that garner that trust? Well, firstly, you need to find your relevance, and that's quite simple. You should be creating content and campaigns for people, so your current customers and your future customers. And you should stop building strategies purely just for Google, whereby you're speaking on topics that just aren't relevant, you don't have authority to talk about, and this can really damage the trust. Customers might see that as kind of spammy, or that you're just kind of talking for the sake of it. So make sure you establish your relevancy. And this is where our BIC framework comes in. This leads us to campaigns that are really effective, really creative, and are relevant to your brands and customers. So essentially, it's all about finding your core offering. So finding the issues and themes that really directly impact your customers and really helping them. You want to provide content that is something they're kind of looking to learn or something they're struggling with, and being that voice that helps them there. So think about who's using your products and why. So the first part of the BIC framework is brand. So some questions that you can kind of ask yourself to kind of start that ideation process is, what are your brand's values? What does your business exemplify? And what does your business care about? Secondly, we've got issues. So what are the issues that matter to people buying your products or services? Why are they buying your products and services? Why do they want to use your products? What are the themes or topics that they're struggling with? And finally, customers. So who's impacted by your brand and its product? Which groups, what professions, what type of people? Really building up a picture of who your customer is. And from there, we can kind of start to create an idea that's really aligned with both your values, but also the topics that are affecting your customers and the issues that they might be facing. So here we've got an example for a young driver insurance brand. So if we go through the BIC framework, we've got customer, so the people that are impacted is obviously learner drivers and parents. We've got issues specific to them, so things that they might be struggling with, and that's receiving abuse when learning to drive. The idea is to campaign to increase penalties around abuse for learners. The opportunity, so you want to make sure that it's something that lots of news publications would pick up, and here we can break down into lifestyle, motoring, student press, instructor titles, And is the value aligned? Yes. And why? Because it really supports their key customer and the issues that they're facing. So along with campaigns and making sure that they're relevant, we can really kind of leverage the power of experts and expert commentary to establish trust. And these are kind of nuggets of wisdom that are shared by industry spokespeople. And these can be from your brand itself. So they might be people like brand managers or product experts that have worked in the brand for a while. They have loads of industry knowledge and are really kind of credible sources of information. Or they could be sourced externally. So people like doctors, mechanics, people that you can partner with that have that expertise to help you give your activities that credibility and that depth. And they're a really great way to engage with journalists and really catch their attention. There's a lot around AI at the moment, which Charlie's going to talk about, but that comes across into journalists and writing articles, and they really want to be using real life people. And as a result, your efforts can earn powerful backlinks from these high authoritative publications, really helping your overall SEO performance and those all-important EAT signals. And I'm sure we've all heard of this guy here, Martin Lewis. He's kind of the GOAT when it comes to those EAT signals, building that trust. He's really established himself as that credible authority in the financial sort of space. And we've got here people saying that they trust him to be the Prime Minister, they trust him with their finances and things like that. So as you can see here, like really utilising your expert knowledge in the press can really build that trust. And here he is, the king himself. So just some tips on how to find experts within your business or externally. So firstly, do they have experience in the topic? Are they people that actually do know what they're talking about? Do they have any thoughts on the topic? So these might be people that can give kind of thought leadership or share opinions on things that are happening. Are they willing to help? Bit of a big one there. And what is their availability? So journalists work on a really tight schedule. So a lot of the time there'll be really tight deadlines for these kind of comments. So making sure that you choose someone that has the time to help you is really big. And are they happy to be named and pictured and in some cases talk directly to journalists? This is a big one. We don't want any sort of AI or fake people being generated and just, saying that they're a person when they're not. So journalists will kind of ask for pictures to speak directly with them. So really important tips on how to find the experts. Cool. So that's everything. Some key takeaways here is digital PR is an effective way to establish your brand as a trusted expert as a trusted source, not just within Google, but also to potential customers. You need to ensure your digital PR strategy focus on relevant topics that you really have authority to talk about, and thinking about the topics and themes that are being affected and impacted by your customers. And finally, expert comments are priceless nuggets of gold that can really help add that authority to your digital PR activity and help you kind of position your brand as a thought leader in your industry. Thank you.